Hi, and welcome back for the hangout about creating AdWords text ads with ad customizers. So as you can see, I'm actually logged in the interface of Google AdWords. And what I did is actually I entered the shared library down here in the left pane. If you go to shared library and you want to use ad customizers, then you need to go to business data first. A couple of feeds will already be there for you. And what we're going to do is we are going to add a new data feed here. So if you click the red button to add new data, then you have the option to go to add customizer data. So we can click here and we can actually give it a name. I'm going to call this my test ad customizer. And I'm going to browse for a file. So I actually already prepared a file with business data. It's a list of partners. And I'm going to show you straight away how that looks. So it's an Excel list, basically. If you have no clue how to start building up an Excel list for yourself, you can actually use a template which is available under this link. It's a CSV data template, which enables you to have a look at the columns that are available. So I did that already. I am going to select my business data partner list. I'm going to open that one. And what you can do is you can upload and preview, and we have a look at these data. So it's going to be an Excel with 121 rows in there. And I have 121 additions. What I can do is I can click on preview changes, so I can have a look at what kind of data I'm going to upload. So my Excel is basically built up into a column. So this is actually something that, for my reference, that I know it's going to end up in that campaign. It's building up a target keyword as well, which connects actually to my campaign and keywords where these ad customizers will be running. And then I can add a couple of other attributes. Mine is going to be the country of the partner organization, the short code of the name of the partner organization, and then the name itself of the partner organization. I had included a couple of other columns, including, for example, the final URL, but I have to say that this actually ended up in an error because this business data is very strict on characters like a colon, a slash, a comma, and so on. So everything what is outside the normal letter characters will be disapproved. So this is why I actually cleaned up my Excel beforehand, and I'm working with just a couple of columns to refer back to in my text ads. Everything is filled out, that's fine. It's all successful, so that all looks good. In case you actually have an error, you could still go and apply the changes and then manually change. For example, imagine that here was a comma, I needed to change that. You can manually change your feeds once you have uploaded it. So if I do apply changes, and it really happens quite quickly, what you will see is that a new name will pop up for my customizer. So it's my test ad customizer data. So once I go in there, you could see that it's, for the moment, it's pending review. And in case you still want to change something, you can easily, add information here. Say that you don't want to have this one, and so on. So you can actually make changes here. This is great if you have only one Excel that you want to upload to your campaign. If you have data here that are changing all the time, you can schedule uploads. And the schedule is actually meant for example, data that is changing over a Google Sheet, or you can even work with FTP access or even with a URL, which acts like an XML file and is going to bring in all the new information from where you have it ready. So then you can set when is this going to be fetched? Is it going to be on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, first day of the month? And you can go for a maximum of every 6 hours. So let's go back to our data. Imagine that later on I need to change something. I have a new feed. I can add an attribute right here, saying, for example, that I want to have a region as well. It's going to be a text attribute, and then I actually can upload. So region is included here. And what I can do is I can upload a new spreadsheet which has a column region, and that will actually update my original spreadsheet, or you can completely replace everything what you had before. Once this is done, you're ready on the part of the shared library, and you should go and have a look at your campaign. So what we did in a previous webinar was already building out our structure. So what I have right here is a keyword. And with the keyword, I have a final URL. And what I'm actually going to build up for you is now the text tag. And I'm going to use bit modifiers. So not bit modifiers, but add customizers, of course. So I'm going to quickly show you how you should work now. So my campaign is about bird life. I'm going to add the country here, so bird life in. And now what is very important is I open the accolade, and then it actually tells me, what do you want to do? Well, I want to add an ad customizer right here. And then you can see, where do you actually want to get your ad customizer data from? Well, I'm going to get it from this my test ad customizer data. And here you see the different attributes that I have created: the country, the name, the shortcode, and the region. Remember, the region one is actually empty. I'm going to pick the country here right now. So what you see is actually my headline is created straight away: bird life in Switzerland. And I can create, for example, my second headline. It's going to be column ad customizer test data. I'm going to take the name of my ad customizer, which is actually the name of the partner. So you see this here happening for Switzerland. If you switch, you see this happening for Turkey, and you see this happening for Ukraine. So I have 121 different partners, and so I could just get a preview from a couple of these partners. So you can see that you can use ad customizers in the headlines. You can also use it in the path by adding, for example, the ad customizer of the shortcode right here, which is actually the shortcode of the name of the organization. And then if you want, you can even use it in the description. So it's the same thing. You have maybe seen that while I was doing that, you could even add a countdown. Now, my Excel originally didn't have countdown information, but that would be an option, for example, if you have a sale on your webshop and so on. I haven't done that now, so I'm not going to use it. Keywords insertion, I suppose, like a lot of people already know this function, but you can see that this function is actually built in the ad customizers as well. What I did before is I was just typing it out and typing out my default text. But what you can do is you can build it in this case as well. So that might be a good thing as well to use. Another thing that we haven't shown is the if function. The if function allows you to give another text for example, a different device. For example, if people are searching on a mobile device, well, then you can see the text ad for mobile, and you can see a different one if you use this if function. Another function that was available was an if function per audience. Let's say that you have a remarketing list for returning visitors, and in that case, you want to display another text, for example, minus 30% instead of minus 25%. My only concern for the moment is what happens when I will run out of character limits. I don't have it here right now, but imagine that I'm going to add some more text right here. Still not going to make any issue. So it basically kind of enlarges my headline. But because we don't have any default text, I'm a bit worried that at some point I will see bird life partner in, and then I will see like variable there, so that the characters limit doesn't allow me to put actually my variable in place. But let's see about that. I might want to give an update on that in the text of this webinar. It helped you as well for building up your first text ad with ad customizing. Best of luck.